my friend and I were building the race car, picked up this piece for this car and the race car, which I just moved outside. It's sitting back in the corner now. So we're planning to put a Miata front suspension into the race car, and so we want to use kind of like this portion plus what I have outside. I'll show that in a second. And then for the Miata, to pass my safety inspection, this part of the rail is bent, so I got to replace that. And then mine is torn here, so I have two really good parts to use. And we'll get into this car's damage. We'll pull it apart and we'll go through that. And outside, here's the Miata front suspension. And I took the rack out of it already. I have a leaky power steering rack, and I think this new one does not leak. Which is here. It's obviously not new, but it's not leaky. And so I'll replace it, see if it doesn't leak, then we're good to go. If it does, then we'll loop it around and run manual steering for a little while. And then we'll convert the rack that's in the red car that's leaky to a manual rack and get the close ratio Miata manual rack. Hey guys, I should probably give a bit of backstory. I was thinking about it at work today on getting these parts here, the ones there and the front, rest of the front suspension parts outside. We went to pick them up yesterday, and it came off of a Miata like mine, just a year older, same color even, well, obviously because it's red. But it was kind of fun. We wanted to pick it up. It took about 2.5 hours to get it apart, and we weren't sure if the motor would be sitting in the car or not. And we had no jacks available to us when we started, no engine hoist, and so we had to get creative to get the front core support out of the car. We took it. Normally you pull an engine out of a car. We pulled the car out of the engine, is kind of a fun way of saying it. But we ended up putting cinder blocks under the guy had cinder blocks for this place. So we started by putting them under here. So we made our cuts inside the car here. We pulled the hood off, the fenders and bumper were off, so that was nice. Then we took all the radiator, the wiring harness, we pulled it all back, pulled the pop-up lights out, and then we disconnected the bolts from the front subframe that are like down in this area on the floor. And when we were jacking, it was pretty crusty already. We used a pry bar on the cinder block sat here to leverage it, and it was just crumbling. It was so rusty into there. Enough to slide the cinder block underneath, and I stuck one on the bell housing area of the transmission. And then we took, he found in this garage a scissor jack kind of thing that it could crank the motor up enough to get it out of the engine mounts. We unbolted it from the frame side from under the car and pulled the wheels off, made our cuts, pushed down on the front some more. So we basically had our cuts coming, both sides started here. Then we got through with the sawzall, but it wouldn't quite get to the bottom edge here. So we pushed, dumped, we were both sort of bouncing on here, one on each side, and then it folded forwards. So then we could get the sawzall in further, cut the rest of it off, and then we slid it right out of the front of the car. So it was kind of fun, taking the car out of the engine. So yeah, that was our adventure for the day. I would have made a video, but super greasy, messy, and don't like that on the camera.